And good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to UC Davis and welcome to the 2017 FINA Women's Intercontinental Tournament Day 4 action. It's China taking on Kazakhstan. China in the blue caps, Kazakhstan in the white, alongside UC Davis men's head water polo coach Dan Layson. Greg Meskel joining you here from the Shaw Aquatic Center as we pick things up halfway through this tournament. Thanks for joining us on Facebook Live and YouTube Live as well. And Dan, as we look towards this game here, two teams that have not done what they wanted to do to start, both 0-3 coming in here. I guess the one positive, someone's going to come away with a win today.
That's true. I'm sure they're looking to improve game by game, and a lot of times it takes some time maybe to settle in when traveling and stuff, so maybe we'll see a better performance from one or both of the teams.
And here's Kazakhstan now getting their first offensive possession, led by head coach Andrei Suzukin. Shot clock to 10 here. This is the first of 3 games we'll have today. Japan, Australia to follow, and then Team USA, 3-0 so far. They'll take on Canada this evening in the nightcap, 7:10 p.m. start right here live at UC Davis. China looking inside, a lot of physical play there, and contra fouls the call. A little shove there as they were working inside for Tian Jianing, and see a suit grab one way, but then she gave the off arm, and the official, it's Mr. Murray from Canada, all over this one. A post-up opportunity here for Kazakhstan. We'll try and work inside for Anastasia Murshina. Trying to break free. What'd you see there, Coach?
4th time was the charm on the faked exclusion there. Actually, on the 4th move, she was being held around the neck, so the defender was out. But the first 3 moves were essentially fakes with the intention of drawing an exclusion.
On the other end, China on the counter. That one's knocked down. I could see you, the coach, and you over here. You were kind of shaking your head, waiting for something to go on.
We prefer to see the player try to really make a move rather than just rely on the referee for help drawing an exclusion.
Yeah, don't count on the referees.
No.
That's not a knock on the refs, but it's make the play yourself.
Yeah, we'll go with the intention of playing, and then it actually makes it easier for the referee to help to make the correct call.
Well, man-to-man defense here. Now a double team on the ball as shot clock about to expire, and that one is tossed away from Daria Roga. And now China will control. Here's Peng Lin, the starting keeper for this China team. A lot of the teams in this event bringing much younger rosters. The year after an Olympics, always kind of a hard reset for teams as they try and figure out what the next 4 years will look like. Here's a look inside, and our first goal on the quick turn from Tian Jianing, and just able to break free, come center cage, and buried it.
It's the 2nd time that she's had ball side position, and this time she was able to make a move without committing an offensive foul and score the goal. Pretty physical move to get position. No call.
You thinking perhaps a counter offensive there on her?
No, not necessarily. Just very aggressive move to get position. Game's already pretty physical.
Yeah. Kazakhstan has a rep as a team that'll be fairly physical, and the U.S. saw that earlier this week when they went up against them, a 5-goal victory. So we knew that coming in, and as we talk about it now, an exclusion, but it'll be Kazakhstan drawing. Off the post and in. Nice shot there from Anastasia Murshina. She had 3 goals in the loss to Japan and buries that one and quickly tied 1-1 on the power play.
So the exclusion call in the near part of the screen for us, the near side of the pool at the feet of this referee, was called by the referee on the far side of the pool. Not sure exactly why.
Gotcha. Yeah, you don't see that often. And here's a bad pass. Now stepping right in front, Kamila Zakharova, and she's off to the races. China giving chase, but not that hard. And Zakharova now moving in. Here comes a double team. Kind of a casual swim there to follow the defender. Good look in front, stuffing it home is Daria Roga. Kazakhstan, 2 quick ones.
Clean steal at the other end. It's going to usually result in a counterattack opportunity. In many cases, a first line opportunity. So 1 on nobody, or 2 on 1, or 3 on 2 in this case. 3 on 2. Easy goal.
when you have a play like that and it's a bad pass and now you're just in a tough spot defensively, what are you telling your team? Is it just everyone swim as hard as you can? Is there a specific strategy you're trying to do?
You got to chase back as hard as you can. There's no time for lamenting, looking at the ref. Just chase back as hard as you can, and then you got to maybe take some kind of a risk at the end. Try to put some pressure on the ball, not allow an easy pass, or guard the players who are open and allow the goalie to stay set on one player, with the player with the worst angle usually, and just take your chances. In that case, they allowed a cross pass on the 2-meter line. The goalie has no chance.
You don't always wonder about plays like that, and it might differ from coach to coach, but a situation like that, defensively, odds are you're beat, right? There's going to be a goal. You as a coach, as we see Kazakhstan here working and the shot clock is about to expire, 2 seconds left. This one will come across the way, and now they'll run out of time. But let's say hypothetically your team's down defensively and you allow that goal. Are you keeping an eye on the people that are actually trying to get back, and even if they have no impact, but the ones that are really digging to try and be a part of that play?
An outstanding chase back on defense is a really, really important play, and there are players whose skill is their ability to chase back hard no matter what, and that's a really important something that a player can contribute to the team, and they can save a goal that way, so it's really important.
2-1 here. Kazakhstan leads halfway through the first quarter. 2 0-3 teams. Shovel shot there is off the mark. Little kick there on the way back, and China will take control. This one's had a chippy start to it.
Yeah, it really has. You're noticing that the Kazaki team is having a hard time getting their offense down. They're probably going to be relying heavily on the counterattack if they're not able to do anything much in their front court offense because they're pushed away so far from the goal.
That backhand field blocked.
China seems to be the physically stronger team.
Back to China teams in the past. They really kind of launched this senior program with the hosting of the 08 Olympic Games, as now a timeout is called, and had a decent showing there, and then that kind of built towards London, a medalist at the 2011 World Championships that they hosted in Shanghai, but their calling card was shooting. They could shoot like few others, not the same as what you describe as maybe like a Hungarian team, but just some really strong perimeter shooters. They had a great center that ended up going to Arizona State in Algao, and just a really talented team. This, obviously, it's been a bit of a reboot now the last couple of years as they've worked their way back, and a lot of names have changed from what was a team that was really in the mix for medals. That's got to be tough at the national team level. You think of what the U.S. does, where they're able to kind of just fill in empty spots and not have to kind of strip it down and then start over.
Yeah, you'd prefer to have a mix of young and old if you have to do that. Always retain some of the older players to help. You know, the older players that haven't lost the motivation like some older players do, and can provide a good example for the young players, or maybe at a key position. Sometimes the center is hard to come by, and
sure,
goalkeeper also can play later.
Skip shot, score. Power play goal is there for Kamila Zakharova, and Kazakhstan has scored 3 unanswered to go in front 3-1. So they took a little shot here from China early and now have rebounded quite nicely.
A nice shot from position 1, but defensively, the blocker in front of that player needs to move over and protect the goalie from having to come over to near side. So the player who's blocking that shooter missed her block.
Talk about this all the time, but so often goals allowed. Occasionally you can pin it on the goalie, but a lot of times it's those defenders in front. Were they in the right position?
Absolutely. Water polo goalkeeping is tough. I mean, the defending players out in front of the goalie need to do everything they can to make life easier for the goalkeeper.
Entry inside, stepping in front. Ball's loose and a steal. Kazakhstan coming up with it. Their keeper, Alexandra Zharkanbayeva, who has had a solid start to the tourney. Second in overall saves thus far through 3 games with 21, and steps in front and grabs that one.
It's about the 3rd or 4th time that number 3 for China, Tian Jianying, has had excellent position in front of the goal. One time was a counter foul, another time was a goal, and then usually defenders are trying to avoid giving the center that particular position, facing the ball deep in front of the cage.
Backhand attempt there, an easy gather from China. You talk about the center position. We'll see a team in Japan in our next game that could care less about posting at 2 meters. They play largely without a center and really create some interesting water polo. As now China on the counter. Save there, Jarkenbayeva turning away the attempt from Li Qianying. And now we'll see an exclusion in transition and a power play here for Kazakhstan with under 2 to play in the first quarter. This is Akalbayeva moving in. Qianying after the miss, now excluded. That happens often enough. Frustration on the offensive end leads to a kick out on the way down. Sides even, cross cage attempt, that's off the mark, but they'll say a tip. This one just nicked there by Peng Lin, and it'll come back in at 2 meters. Sides are even.
With 3 other right-handed players on the perimeter positions on 6-on-5 and a right-handed player at position 6 down on the wing, you're probably looking for a better shot than that right-hander shooting the ball. Usually teams are trying to set up this side of the pool where the shooters have a better angle.
That attempt there is off the post. And sometimes I think, and I have no data to support this, but an exclusion ends and there's a bit of a panic. You know, hey, our advantage is up, as another cross-cage skip almost found a home, but the advantage is over. Let's get a shot off quickly before we lose what was supposed to be an opportunity that was going to be easier.
Yeah, we see that a lot, especially younger players have a tendency to hear the clock or hear the word even.
That one nearly ricocheted home.
And begin to tense up and start to rush things when really, you know, you still have 3 seconds more or less from the excluded player arriving to the first attacking player from the ejection box. There's more time.
Well, and those are great times to score a goal.
Absolutely.
You see it right at the exclusion, that kind of confusion. And again, people think, right, they hear even, they think things are kind of reassembled, but they're not.
I've also spoken with coaches who have specific plays designed to allow the other team to come even, knowing that transition between 5-on-6 and 6-on-6, sometimes the defense can be exposed.
Final moments here of the first, and Kazakhstan does not realize they're out of time. And frustration there from Mershina. She went for a long swim and then never got a shot off. And either way, we've had a physical start here to this first quarter. Kazakhstan frustration at the end, but they got to be happy. They've started out 3-1 in front of China, looking for their first win. 0 for 3 thus far. We'll take a timeout and return here to UC Davis. You're watching the FINA Women's Intercontinental Tournament live on USA Water Polo TV.
You've got your hard-earned money, but you're not sure where to put it. Well, one of the best things that you can do is put it into a credit union. Credit unions are like banks, only better. They offer higher rates of return, lower fees, and are safe and secure. And because they're not for profit, they're all about putting the people first. With credit unions, you're not just another face in the crowd, you're a member. And credit unions are member-owned and member-operated. Take control of your finances. Visit or contact Sea Air Federal Credit Union to find out all of the great reasons why you should join.
You never know where the next Olympian might be coming. Second quarter underway, and it's Kazakhstan getting there to win the sprint. Good start for Kazakhstan. 3-1, they lead over China. Dan Layson and Greg Meskel joining you here from the Shaw Aquatic Center. Thanks for tuning in on a nice Friday afternoon here in Davis. The heat wave that engulfed the area has broken a bit. Dan, you know it well.
Yeah, I took care of that for you.
Thank you very much. Put in a good word. Exclusion here on China. Deng Ziwen departs in a power play for Kazakhstan.
She got caught just holding the person trying to move repeatedly and not playing defense by moving her arms at all, just holding the driver. She's out.
Another difficult angle there. You talked about the shots you want versus the shots you take on a 6-on-5, and for a right-hander in that position, tough stuff.
I think China's going to be very pleased with that. If Kazakhstan wants to keep doing that, they're going to be just fine with it. That's not a good look for Kazakhstan.
So 6-on-5 there, goes by the boards for Kazakhstan, and now China again, the quick hook shot and the score. And another for Tian Jianing, her second. And China determined to work for that 2-meter area. They feel they've got the advantage there.
She's a very physical player, number 3, Tian Jianing, and she is working for ball side position at the end of the counter, and she's gotten it repeatedly. And if they continue to give it up, she's going to kill him in the middle. There's nobody back to help. She's way bigger than the defender, and she's going to score a lot of goals.
And you like the confidence you see out of her. She gets in there, holds aside, and just kind of confidently looks like, just pour that ball in here. I'm gonna take care of the rest.
Sort of the unwritten rule of water polo is no goals from the center position. You know, so you'd rather see the defender take an exclusion and force the other team to play 5-on-6 defense or 6-on-5 offense than just allow the ball to come into a player right in front of the goal and let him throw it in the cage. But she's got position again here.
Working. Kazakhstan now keeping a bit of a closer eye on her, but still room to roam as she breaks free. I think that was a shot attempt from the outside.
They should have given her the ball.
Yeah, she was clear. Had some room to operate, especially near side of the cage. We go the other way now. Over the top, but an exclusion is called. Nong Song Peng will be excluded. And another power play here for Kazakhstan. They will call for timeout. And another chance here in the 6-on-5. Didn't get a good look there last 6-on-5, but now we'll have the opportunity to talk it over. 2 minutes gone by, second quarter. 3-2 lead for Kazakhstan. Coming up next, we'll have Japan and Australia, and then Team USA take on Canada. Both Team USA and Australia are undefeated. They meet tomorrow night in what should be a pretty exciting game. And then in all likelihood, if both teams are victorious today, no matter how you slice it tomorrow, they'll meet again for the gold medal on Sunday as we finish things out here at UC Davis.
See Kazakhstan with a one-person sort of lead break repeatedly, getting position on the Chinese defender and generating offense that way. Focus on the counterattack. See if they can have a good 6-on-5 attack here.
And something to watch here based off their last attack is just the quality of the shot. I think not even so much if they can score or not, but is it a good look?
Well, they put their left-hander in at position 6 now, so.
And that's Anna Novikova on the far side of the pool. Still on the advantage. Now sides coming even. Here's Novikova. Top of the perimeter, low attempt, knocked away. Peng Lin is there, and China again holds off the power play attack from Kazakhstan.
Not a good 6-on-5 for Kazakhstan. The passing wasn't precise, ball movement, fairly easy to defend. And China with a counterattack opportunity off it. Again, number 3, Tian Jianing with excellent position.
But now you see Zakharova keeping a bit of a closer eye. They step in and they get a contra foul called against China. Jianning guilty there. So we mentioned her physical presence, perhaps a little too physical there on that last attempt.
She just won't let go of the defender's bathing suit. I mean, she's holding it for a long time, maybe too long. But that pass was short, and that's always going to be trouble.
Under 10 to go on the shot clock. 3-2 lead for Kazakhstan. China scored first. Kazakhstan came back with 3 straight. China scored last. Now they have it on the turnover. Looking to push ahead on a pass here. That's a difficult one. And a steal here coming from Kazakhstan. Nice job from Tarova stepping in front. A little confusion there. I think China might have been better served just to swim a bit, and they were looking to make the home run pass.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this amount of suit grabbing. Men don't wear suits these big, but this is the grabbing of the bathing suit in women's water polo is an art. There's just so much suit to grab, and every player is grabbing and holding each other.
And to do it without giving the appearance you are doing it is also a skill, as you allude to.
Yeah, especially that back part of the suit right behind the attacking player's shoulder. It's like a handle almost, where you can pretty much get a hold of it every single time if you want.
Yeah, a lot of times, players will try and steer the person in front of them almost around with a grip of that suit. There's a suit grab, and then a kick for good measure as China will head the other way. Kazakhstan takes over.
You fell for that one? A little embellishment on that.
Just a touch, a flop, if you will. That's why I'm not a referee, because I watch that stuff, and from where we're sitting, it looked possible.
Absolutely.
.3:14 to play, first half. 3-2 lead Kazakhstan. Here's a chance after the ordinary, right into the center cage, and Peng Lin, easy stop.
That's Daria Roga is Kazakhstan's most active attacking player, it would seem. In the middle, trying to look for the 5-meter line every single time. The Kazakhstan really lacking dynamic play on their front court offense. They're having problems getting down deep.
And it's been a struggle for them all week. We talked about them coming in winless. China goes back in front. Good position, another score. This time for Wang Duchan, able to step in front. They continue their work at the 2-meter line, and it's paying off. We're tied at 3.
Kazakhstan needs to do a better job of reacting on the counterattack defense. When the ball comes out of the goal, that the person who's guarding the center has to move and take ball side position. That defender is getting pinned on the outside. They're allowing the Chinese centers to just grab them and hold them. They can't get around. The ball comes in, and it's trouble. It's happened over and over. You got to take ball side at the end of the counter. That's one of the most fundamental defensive tenets of the game.
Expect that to be part of the halftime talk here with 2:30 to play in the second quarter. Extensive pressure here on the perimeter. Ball comes in now, triple team, and ball under is the call. No call in favor of Kazakhstan.
Center has to make an aggressive move to the ball. You can see that ball sitting on the water. 3 Chinese sharks swimming toward it to take it, and the center just leaning back into the guard, not doing anything. She's got to get to the ball.
Another case there, perhaps waiting for a call to come her way.
Just not ready to make a move. There's a lot of not aware maybe that the crashing defenders are so close.
Side chuck handles here for Kazakhstan. Ball comes inside now, and an exclusion. This is an area where Kazakhstan has done well in this first half. They've drawn more 6-on-5 opportunities than China has, but hasn't had the strongest conversion rate. Speak of the devil, this time they put it away. And it's Anastasia Mershina with her second goal, and a power play puts Kazakhstan back in front 4-3.
This exclusion call at the center position I disagree with the call because, again, the attacking player is just faking. The attacking player is not going to the ball with the intention of trying to make a move. The attacking players are trying to draw an exclusion only and is rewarded for doing that. I believe that the players should make an intent to play the ball, to try to score, and then if the defender's holding, that's another story. But in this case, she puts her arm out, flops it back, defender's out, they get a goal.
Exclusions have told a story in this first half. Kazakhstan 3 for 6. China from the outside. Guo Ning hitting from the perimeter. And they tied at 4 despite not having a single player advantage opportunity. So 3 for 6 on one end, 0 for 0 on the other. That will drive most any coach a bit wild that there's such a disparity.
Yeah.
But what's happening too, we've talked about it, China hasn't needed the 6-on-5, so when they get it in, they go to work and score.
Yeah. The Chinese center is making a move to try to play the ball, and so sometimes the referee doesn't have a chance to call an exclusion, but those of us who've seen a few water polo games can expect the ratio to even out maybe a little bit as the game goes on.
What a shocker that would be. 4-4, Kazakhstan and China. Under a minute to play here, just about in the first half. Lob attempt, but wave it off. Inside the 5 is the call on that attempt after the foul.
See if the Kazakh team can take position at the end of the counter, or they're going to give up.
Entry comes in. Double post stacked on top of each other. Doesn't matter. The turn and the score.
So
Draws Ying.
In that case, the defender had position on ball side, but the perimeter players allow the ball to cross one side of the pool to the other and quickly into the center, and that's also a no-no.
China continues their stellar work. It's an evenly matched game so far between the two winless teams here at the Intercontinental Tournament, and they've both had success in 2 different areas of the game. Kazakhstan taking care of the power play, China scoring, even though we know it's against the unwritten rules, but scoring several natural goals out of 2 meters.
Unconventional.
They'll take it, though.
Yeah.
Ball comes across the way. It's a little too high. 10 seconds to play in the half. Shot clock about to expire. Kazakhstan will let that one ride. And last chance here for China with just 5 seconds left. See if they try and get a shot off. And they won't get a shot off in time. That wouldn't have counted. We come to the end of the first half, and a strong rally from China. Kazakhstan led 3-1 after one. China goes in front 5-4 at the half. We have reached intermission here at UC Davis. We'll take a timeout and return. Third quarter action on the way right here live from UC Davis.
So, you've got your hard-earned money, but you're not sure where to put it. Well, one of the best things that you can do is put it into a credit union. Credit unions are like banks, only better. They offer higher rates of return, lower fees, and are safe and secure. And because they're not for profit, they're all about putting the people first. With credit unions, you're not just another face in the crowd, you're a member. And credit unions are member-owned and member-operated. Take control of your finances. Visit or contact Sea Air Federal Credit Union to find out all of the great reasons why you should join.
You never know where the next Olympian might be coming from, but it could be water polo, and that starts with Splash Ball. Splash Ball is a program for children ages 5 through 9 designed to introduce them to the sport of water polo while promoting water safety. Improve swimming skills and learn a sport you'll love for a lifetime. For more information, visit splashballusa.org. Welcome back, everyone. Third quarter underway. Kazakhstan and China. Good one here in the two winless teams of the FINA Women's Intercontinental Tournament getting together on Friday afternoon. Dan Layson and Greg Meskel here with you. Thanks for joining us on USA Water Polo TV. It's Kazakhstan in the Whitecaps, China in the dark. It's been back and forth. Kazakhstan a strong first quarter, leading 3-1. And China rallied to go in front 5-4 at intermission. Talked about the 6-on-5 stats in the first half, and Kazakhstan 3 for 6. China has not taken one extra player opportunity, so we'll keep an eye on that. Pangolin with 6 saves so far. Alexandra Zharkinbayeva just 1 save for Kazakhstan. And another 6-on-5 here, the 7th opportunity for Kazakhstan upcoming. Actually, excuse me, this is going to be the first chance for China. So Musarova is the excluded player. And that one is saved. Second opportunity, stopped again.
Interesting, not very much movement on 6-on-5 from the Chinese. No rotation, no nothing, just one player take the ball, shoot it. Why even have a 6-on-5 then? Why have an extra player? You know? I guess, I mean, you're free to shoot, but.
Here's a steal now in transition. So China 0 for 1 on their first power play opportunity. But another chance coming here. Again, a little slow to develop here.
Yeah, and there's so much holding at every position. It's almost like the referee, you can't exclude every player, you know. The Chinese had a clear counterattack opportunity there. They didn't capitalize on it.
Here's Kazakhstan now on the counter, looking to break free. Good surge, but not enough on the lob as Lin is there to knock it down.
That's one of the toughest shots in water polo, but one of the most important. Lead break with a player right on your back. And it's tough, but at least she went with the intention of trying to score. The shot wasn't so good, but she made a good move to create separation and shoot the ball.
Difficult multitasking there. You got to ward off the defender and get a decent look. Near side slow skip is easily gobbled up by Jarkinbayeva. You talked about some of the things to be tweaked in the first half. Of course, kind of that crisp passing on some of these power play opportunities for Kazakhstan. Any other adjustments you might tweak here on either side?
There's another fake from the center just to try to draw exclusion. I would, you know, given the troubles that the Kazakhstan team has had stopping the players in the middle, I would anticipate that they'd play a little bit more zone and try to force some shots from the outside maybe.
Here's a counter. China on the attack, puts on the brakes and scores it. Zhang Dunhan hitting. And a 6-4 lead for China. So after a first quarter that saw Kazakhstan push ahead, it's really been China's game as they've settled in a bit.
They seem to be the more powerful, they're executing better than the Kazakh team is.
Outscoring Kazakhstan 6-1 since the, 5-1 since the end of the first quarter.
Kazakhstan looked to be running some kind of an after-goal play. A little pick in the middle. You don't really see that much in international water polo. Usually they just kind of go down and set up, play with the center, and get to your positions.
Triple team there. The foul's given. It's a long way from the cage on the post-up. And credit China here doing a decent job driving out Kazakhstan. That low skip, easy save.
I'm not sure why that's the case, really. With international water polo, a lot of times you don't see. That's why the Japanese team is so interesting. They play a different style. They have to. They can't match up with other teams in terms of the physical game. So they have to move more. And I don't understand why more coaches don't do this.
Yeah, I mean, they are a fun team to watch, and they've played to their personnel. And you've seen, as there's a terrible pass there, just goes out of bounds. You've seen a marked improvement in that team from where they were a few years ago to now. Improving quite a bit as they get chances to compete. But you're right. Why? I think, is it a fear thing? Is it a go with what you've always known?
I don't really know what it is. Is it sort of we will honor the game by playing this straightforward manner, and if we don't have the better players, we'll lose. I don't know what it is.
Oh, nearly an opportunity for a defender to come over and make the stop, but score the backhand for Kazakhstan. Nicely done there. Working on the far side, that was Daria Murayeva.
Tian Jianing almost went inside the goal there. Good anticipation on defense to try to prevent the lob, but she just couldn't get there fast enough.
And now the difficult angle to put home a backhand there. Kind of moving towards the out-of-bound marker, but a much-needed goal for Kazakhstan now 6-5. And to go back to your point, though, you see it in a lot of other sports, and when some team or coach does make an adjustment and it works, doesn't that just become the new hyped way to do things? You think of the Golden State Warriors, we're here in Northern California. Not that being able to shoot the three-pointer is that revolutionary, but the way they play and kind of, not needing your kind of large post-up center and everyone can handle and everyone can kind of move the ball. That's obviously led to success. Now it's a way to do it. You can be a jump shooting team and win an NBA title. Someone else would go out on the ledge here. They'd have to win, though, I think, to kind of engender respect.
Well, I think you have to show progress and show that it can work, and that will give everybody more incentive. I mean, now there's a term for it, right? Small ball.
Sure.
And all it takes is somebody to try it. Just have the courage to try it. Nifty pass.
And a score. 2 straight for Kazakhstan. And they've tied this one up at 6, so it felt like China was starting to create some distance, but Mirshina, she has a hat trick now. Had 3 last night in the loss to Japan. Comes back with 3 more here.
It's a pass into the post to Anna Turova with a backhand pass out to the wing. And I did say nifty.
You did.
And
We are picking up the vocab here.
I mean it.
Coach got off to a bit of a slow word start, but now he's finding his groove. Wait till we get to that USA game on 7:10. He's gonna have the dictionary out. We're gonna get synonyms, antonyms. It's gonna be fantastic.
A lot of times a pass into the post and then back out on 6-on-5 forces the defense to collapse. They anticipate that the post player is going to shoot. Sometimes they can throw it out and create a good look on the outside. Sometimes teams have set plays to throw the ball into the post and back out.
Their attack here on the post and a headbutt.
Exclusion on
that'd be number 9 on China, Nong Sang-pen, and
she doesn't know she's out.
That was ferocious defense there. She's still in the game. This is going to be something forthcoming. And there's the penalty that we knew was on the way. Sang-pen did not realize that she was excluded. I think she thought just a contra, but more than that when you deliver the headbutt. And now a chance for Kazakhstan to go in front with a penalty try.
This is not a good start for China in the third period.
See if we can get a replay at some point of the headbutt there from Sang-pen on the previous possession. But first up, we'll have the penalty try as Kazakhstan will turn to Mershina looking for her 4th goal. Sorting things out here. I think frustration for China as they get a new player in the box. Wang Duchan is ready to come on. Mershina scores it on the skip, and it's a 7-6 lead. Kazakhstan has scored 3 unanswered here in the third to go in front. So nice back and forth action here, but we talk about that previous play. That was aggressive perimeter D, kind of almost that rapid fire arm motion where you're kind of given the idea you're going to swim almost through the offensive player, and the offensive player I think had enough of that and tried to come back with a move, and we saw a headbutt right to the head.
Well, there's so much holding going on, and the Chinese attacking player is holding off the defender and holding the ball. And the defender is trying to swim, showing that the attacking player is holding. The attacking player is getting frustrated. So then she lets go, and then she goes forward with her head. Doesn't know she's excluded, penalty. It's just it's a confusing play all around, and I think the spectators would probably have a hard time sort of understanding what was going on at that point too. It's just one of those plays in water polo where it's just confusing and results in a penalty for Kazakhstan. Outside
attempt, save there. Knocked down from Peng Lin. A battle for it, keeper comes out, and she'll gather. Another one of those things too where, and you see this perhaps more internationally, but the call be made exclusion, and then there's not going to be follow-up to say, oh, by the way, you've been excluded. Now it's on the team for everyone to be paying attention to this game and to know, hey, one of our people is out, we got to let them know.
There's no excuse for that, honestly. After all the stuff that's happened, okay, that stuff happened, but for the player not to know that she's excluded is inexcusable. And for 5 other people or more telling, to tell her she's out,
yeah,
you got to know what's going on. You got to look at the official. You got to figure it out. He's holding up number 9 for at least 10 seconds.
Well, isn't that part of the bench's responsibility, too, to kind of be engaged in the game and know what's going on?
But it's the first priority. The first responsibility is the players to know she's out.
We had a contra here, and this has led to Kazakhstan on offense. China thinking they had a near steal. That one almost knocked away. Under a minute to play, third quarter, 7-6. Great back and forth action here. Long attempt, that's off the bar. Rebound comes right back to Kazakhstan. They'll slow things down and get a new shot clock. And we saw an elbow out of the water there at the 2-meter area, and that's going to be an exclusion against China. And that will be Wang Duchan leaving. And now a power play here for Kazakhstan. They'll call for time. And you've watched enough water polo to know that we're heading towards an even more physical fourth quarter.
The Chinese team needs to take a deep breath, and they're getting a little bit frustrated by the physicality of the Kazakhstan team. And they need to be able to play through this. There's a lot of the Chinese players just flat out holding and holding and holding, and the Kazakhstan players are flopping and showing, and then that's leading to frustration. You got to be able to play any style of game if you want to win. If that's the way the game's going, you can't get frustrated by it. You got to learn to play through it, and the Chinese team's having a hard time right now.
Yellow card awarded to China's head coach, Lin Jun.
Let's see what the Kazakhstan team does on 6-on-5 here. Let's see if they have a good, strong rotation. See if the posts enter inside the 2-meter line and see if they create something.
Kazakhstan 4 for 9 on the power play right now on their 10th opportunity with 41 seconds to play in the third. Wind picking up here at the Shaw Aquatic Center. Difficult pass, quick release, and a save there. Hit part of the bar, and Pang Lin able to come over. They had the keeper out of position there momentarily. That was a tough cross pass there to come down, catch, and shoot.
Yeah, I would say that is the cross pass that the Chinese defense did not want to allow. They were allowing this position 6 down here on the near side a free look at the cage and just taking their chances with it with the goalkeeper. And I would say that the coach would probably say they need to be pressing on that side. If that's the defense they're going to play, you cannot allow this cross pass.
Wave off the goal. I think she claiming she was inside the 5 and then drifted out beyond it for that shot attempt. She seemed beyond the 5, but that's the call. And we've come to the end of 3 quarters here in Davis. Back and forth. Kazakhstan led after the first. They got down in the third. They're back in front now, going to the fourth, 7-6. We take a timeout and return. Fourth quarter on the way. One of these winless teams is going to come away with a victory. You're watching live on USA Water Polo TV. Fourth quarter about to begin here at UC Davis. We have a good one. Kazakhstan 7, China 6. Dan Layson and Greg Meskel joining you here from the Shaw Aquatic Center on the campus of UC Davis, home of the Aggies.
We're seeing some interesting interactions here between Gianni Lonzi and the Chinese team.
This is the chairman of the Technical Water Polo Committee.
Basically the boss of all water polo,
and
FINA wise.
Some issue there with that we are not sure exactly what was going on, but one of the Chinese players appeared to be voicing some displeasure about something.
Well, one of the Chinese coaches has been, he's walking behind us now. He's been excluded from the game.
So he's been asked to leave. And now they restart play, and China controls to start things off here in the fourth. So a physical game here has now led to some things outside of the pool. The opening 15 seconds of the fourth. This is where now, Dan, we got to keep a real close eye is the officials and kind of making sure that the physical play doesn't get too far out of hand as we go towards the end of this one. A quick turn and a nice save there from Jarkin Baeva. That one was earmarked for the corner of the cage, able to get a fingertip on it.
Could have been an offensive foul. You could see her left arm out of the water, pushing off the defender. No call and no goal.
Shot clock to 4 for Kazakhstan. Lob attempt, easy save, Peng Lin on it.
She should not have shot that. She had her center wide open. The defender in a position to be excluded, which is why the center is now excluded for Kazakhstan, because they were both holding each other.
Timeout called here by China. And an exclusion there called against Kazakhstan, and Morieva. She departs, and China trailing by a goal here. They use their only timeout available in this quarter with 6:56 to play and going up on the power play.
Greg, at the risk of, I don't know, offending some people, I think that this is one of the things about water polo that people are frustrated with. There's so much holding going on in this game, and everyone is just holding each other. You can't move. Things are confusing to the public. They don't understand why certain calls are being made. And in no other sport, really, I mean, that's why there's a penalty in football that's called holding. There's a penalty in hockey called holding. We don't have a holding penalty. I mean, we have a regular foul, we have exclusions, but they're not called. And it's hard to call if all 6 players are holding each other in wrestling.
Who do you pick?
I don't know. You can't exclude everybody. But it's a stagnant game where there's not a lot of movement, and really everybody seems to be expressing an opinion of trying to get away from a game like this where there's just wrestling at every position on the outside. You don't see it in any other sport. You see it in mixed martial arts a lot.
This is true. Out of the timeout, China 0 for 2 in limited opportunities on the advantage. 6 on 5 here, and they cash in. Their first power play goal ties the game on the score from Dong Yu. 7-7, 6:38 to play in the 4th. And so that timeout pays off.
I think the Kazakhstan team could do a lot better job on 5-on-6 defense of taking their blocks, protecting their goalkeeper. That ball, however, went right over the goalie's head. That goalie's got to be ready on a 6 pass from one side of the pool to the other. It's tough, but
on the other end, instant offense for Kazakhstan. They come right back and scored on the skip. Number 5, Kamila Zakharova.
Now we've got some Russian being yelled down to the bench from the stands here. Maybe some coaching or some tips.
Been a great turnout here of international fans. China, of course, drawing a big crowd when China took on Team USA. When they scored a goal, you saw Chinese flags flying in the stands and China chants. Really exciting stuff. Added some great energy to the game, and we saw a couple athletes being cheered on by some local China fans here that have come out. Talking with Jamie Wright earlier, talking about the great international community here at UC Davis, and that's added to the fans.
Yeah, there's a significant Chinese student population here, and that's pretty cool that they were here to cheer on their team.
Post-up chance here for Kazakhstan. Double team coming in right before the steal and exclusion. And now Kazakhstan will use their timeout. So an exclusion there against China, setting up a 6-on-5 here. Excluded player for China will be Wang Duchan. And now, we've talked in the past about the timeouts in FINA water polo, 1 per quarter, use it or lose it. The one exciting thing about this is that now, odds are we're going to get 5 minutes, 39 seconds of just uninterrupted water polo all the way to the finish.
Yep.
Not really a way to stop the clock for either side as they've both used their timeouts.
This is an important 6-on-5 for Kazakhstan. Do you remember the, I think it was a Croatian coach that was on his cell phone down. He got excluded from the game in the Olympics and was on his cell phone down to the bench and was actually asked to leave the pool deck.
Well, that's the like the classic story of Major League Baseball. Former New York Mets manager Bobby Valentine getting thrown out of the game and then returning to the dugout wearing the fake glasses and mustache and nose.
Is that true?
That is 100% true. Major League Baseball did not find it as funny as you and I are, but that is a classic all-time moment.
I had not heard about that.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, you have to Google that one after the game. 5:30 to play here in the fourth. 6-on-5 for Kazakhstan. And a takeaway. Great defense from China stepping in front. Tian Jianding, she did the job early offensively. Now China with a chance on the counter. Long outlet here. They've got Chung Duhan off the post. She couldn't bury it. Beautiful opportunity off the mark. China with a great chance to tie this game after Kazakhstan couldn't convert in the 6-on-5.
Well, that was an important moment. Kazakhstan really had trouble with China's 5-on-6 defense. Again, they're just leaving this right-hander on the wing down here to shoot the ball. Kazakhstan keeps rotating this direction and makes it easier for the defense.
Not much on that attempt towards the goal. And we fall under
China.
5 minutes to play.
Another counterattack opportunity. If they can get the ball out.
Nobody home here is Pang Lin looking to find somebody.
Still up.
And they'll come near side. Dong Yu working in. She'll take a look. Tries to go cross cage. A bit of a sidearm release there, and it spins its way out of play. And then an exclusion in transition. Kazakhstan will take the 6-on-5 advantage after the missed shot. Dong Yu is excluded. 6-on-5 here for Kazakhstan. This could prove to be a pivotal possession if they can score and go up 2.
See if they leave the wing to shoot again.
Right in the face, keeper able to knock that down. Pang Lin hanging on. So another 6-on-5. Not to be for Kazakhstan. They have struggled. 4 for 11 from the 6-on-5s. Under 4 minutes to play, fourth quarter. Few fakes off the post, nearly trickled in behind Jarkinbayeva. She holds on. We'll get a lifetime sub here for Kazakhstan. They'll send Ayjan Alkabayeva off and return with Anna Novakova. So this will hamstring this particular possession for Kazakhstan. Ball tossed aside. China will take control.
Oh.
And we'll see another sub on the other end. So we talked about the inability to stop the game here without a timeout. Fatigue can play a factor. Fourth game in 4 days.
You called it. I mean, people are getting tired.
So China goes to their bench. Pan Li returns.
China has time to get down the pool. There's still 11 seconds on the clock. They could take a shot from the outside, but they are resigned to just staying back and giving up this offensive possession.
Dump that one across the way.
Meanwhile, they're down a goal. Now they're going to be down in transition. Can't happen.
You know, you wonder, we talk about the fatigue thing, the lifetime sub really kind of takes the wind out of your sails if they're trying to maybe bide their time and throw their energy into one or two final shots at the goal here.
But if that player that subs in swims all out down the pool, you can get down the pool and have 7-8 seconds.
Beautiful shot, cross cage skip, and it may not matter. Kazakhstan goes in front 9-7. That one had eyes from Anastasia Mershina, her 5th.
Nice shot, really tough angle, but nice cross cage bar in shot. Puts Kazakhstan up by 2.
2:27 to play, and now China running short on time. And Kazakhstan, after the hot start, has regained their mojo here in the fourth quarter.
Look at that exclusion ratio over there. I mean, this is a surprising game.
Yeah, you might catch the coaches taking a photo of that board.
Cherish the moment. They don't happen very often.
No, you're right. I mean, we alluded to the idea that it might balance out, but it never really did.
China has just been frustrated by the way the Kazakhstan team is playing, and the Kazakhstan has been effective in playing their game.
Backdoor dive, lob attempt. That one won't have enough on it.
Actually, Kazakhstan could be up by a lot more in this game if they could put away their 6-on-5s.
Yeah, they've struggled despite getting all those opportunities.
I'm not pleased with their tactics on 6-on-5. If they would rotate the other direction rather than continuing to rotate toward the player that China is leaving open, they rotate the other way, give that player more space to shoot, and then they can shoot.
90 seconds to go in this one. Kazakhstan on their way to their first victory here at Davis, as that one is tipped off the bar. Jarkin Baeva gets a piece of it.
The one area where China was really having a lot more production was the center position, and they could still throw the ball to the center many, many times. Even in this case, they could have thrown it in, and they haven't done that. They've chosen to shoot from the outside, and apparently they don't have the shooters that you were describing to me earlier.
Yeah, we talked about that being many, many years ago. So
yeah.
This is a different look. China team trying to work inside and tipped away.
China needs a goal.
China 7 for 19 on shots. Kazakhstan 9 for 30. So the percentage better with China, but Kazakhstan just got more opportunities.
They need a quick goal here, or
about out of time in this one with 35 seconds left. Here's an attempt. That's field blocked, and that should put a bow on this one. With 30 seconds left, Kazakhstan can take just about all the time left off the clock. They'll push it ahead to Murshina. Shot clock, game clock, just about a second apart. And so credit this Kazakhstan team. They have been handled in some games this week, and they came back with a nice effort here. And before we can get out of this one, we'll see a Kazakhstan player rolled from the match.
That was a kick, I believe, or something.
Novikova shown the door. Final attempt is off the mark, and a physical game comes to a finish between two pretty aggressive competitors, and it's a win for Kazakhstan, 9-7. They're able to defeat China. They dominate on the 6-on-5, getting 11 opportunities. They cash in 4. And hats off to Anastasia Murshina with 5 goals to lead all scorers. For China, Tian Jianning had 2 to pace their attack. So 9-7 the final for Kazakhstan. We're coming back with more FINA Intercontinental Women's Water Polo. Australia and Japan, 2 very different styles converging in the pool next. Stay with us, coming up at around 5:50 p.m. Pacific time. We will come back and join you then. For Dan Lace and Greg Meskel signing off. Be back with you shortly.